Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Kmart, and I want to talk about some basketball. And today, we are going to be talking about the big trade news in the NBA. The Pascal Siakam deal has gone through. The Raptors and the Pacers put a trade together. So, we are going to talk about the trade and what it means for the two teams involved. So, first things first here, let's put up what each team got on the screen. The Indiana Pacers receive Pascal Siakam, obviously. Meanwhile, for the Toronto Raptors, they get Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, Kira Lewis Jr., and 3 first-round picks. 2 of them in 2024 and 1 pick in 2026. So, in terms of potential gains here, we start with the Pacers. They get Siakam, but there is a little bit of a gamble sort of in play here for the Pacers because Siakam is only signed through the end of this season. He is on an expiring contract, and he had previously indicated that he wanted to test the market in free agency and wouldn't really look to sign any sort of extension with a team that traded for him. So the Pacers, by acquiring him as of right now, are only going to get him for half a season, and then they will have to attempt to re-sign him in the offseason. But the idea, if you're the Pacers, is that with Siakam in the lineup, you can make a kind of deep playoff run that could convince Siakam to re-sign with you long term, and that takes us to the basketball side of the analysis for the Pacers, because this move makes them unbelievably dangerous, right? You're taking the top offense in the league right now in terms of rating and points, and you're adding someone like Siakam to it. Siakam, on a frankly kind of struggling Toronto Raptors squad this season, was averaging 22.2 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 4.9 assists, while shooting 52.2% from the field. So he was putting up some big numbers prior to the trade, and now you put him in an offense where you have Tyrese Halliburton at the helm. You've got another big man down low in Miles Turner who can maybe take some of the defensive pressure off of you, and the Pacers can surround someone like Siakam with shooters on the perimeter who obviously could very much bump up those assist numbers for Siakam. So it gives the Pacers and their offense a little bit more of a dynamic twist to it compared to someone like Miles Turner, who Turner's not going to see a decrease in minutes as far as I'm aware, but Siakam maybe gives them a little bit more offensive firepower than Turner was giving them before. So if you're the Pacers, that's what you're looking at in terms of best case scenario. The acquisition of Siakam turns your offense from what was already the best offense in the league to something that in a lot of cases might just be unstoppable for most of the teams in the league defensively. And if you look at it from the Pacers' angle, the price they paid is really not quite that high. They do end up trading away Bruce Brown and Jordan Nwora. You're not really too broken up about that if Siakam is the return. And you do give up 3 first-round picks. Only 2 of them actually come directly from the Pacers. That third pick is going to come from one of 4 teams, potentially, not the Pacers themselves. And if you are the Pacers, you're hoping that acquiring Siakam makes your team good enough where your first-round picks are devalued, right? The Pacers will do well enough where their first-round picks that they're giving up will be maybe, on the back end of that first round. So that's the hope for the Pacers. Siakam turns you into a true contender, and if that happens, the price you paid is almost inconsequential. Meanwhile, for the Raptors, this move is basically sort of a white flag from the management, from the front office, at least in terms of the previous sort of chapter of the Raptors, that sort of post Kawhi Leonard era where a lot of people maybe looked at the Raptors, and we think that the Raptors thought, I know that sounds weird, but it looked as though the Raptors thought, with Siakam, maybe they were just one more piece away from getting back into contention. That move or that piece never materialized in the way that they wanted, so now they've decided it's time to move on. and sort of reinvent the team, right? They moved Pascal Siakam, they traded OG Anunoby just a few weeks ago, so they're ready to sort of move on and try to build up something different. And quite frankly, you know, they do have assets in place to sidestep a lot of the traditional sort of rebuilding process. They're going to have those 3 first rounders coming in from Indiana. I just talked about how their value could be reduced, but a first round pick is still a first round pick, even if you're 30th in that first round. So they will have a chance to add some young players to their lineup to build around a young core here that they could hopefully sort of feel good about. Right? They've still got Scotty Barnes. He's out there averaging over 20 points a game. He's just 22 years old. He's really emerging as sort of a focal point for the team. They picked up RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley from the Knicks. They are integrating quite nicely from what it looks like. Obviously a small sample size so far, but it does look pretty good. And if you look at their ages as well, Barrett's 23, Quickley is 24. So between Barnes, Barrett, and Quickley, you've got 3 guys under 25, all playing well and all with the potential to get even better as things go on if the Raptors sort of keep them happy and under contract and developing. So does that make the Raptors a team that can do a whole lot right now? I don't really know about that. That's maybe the concern here. The Raptors have an immediate concern down low as well, because with Siakam gone, and I believe they let one of their backup centers go to make space in terms of the roster move. So right now it really looks like in terms of the 4 and 5 positions, they've got Pirtle and not a whole lot else to work with, but that's something that they could address in the future. But I think the point is, for the Raptors, they make this move because they know they needed to move on, but they didn't want to completely and totally sort of bottom out and go into a full-on tank a la the Detroit Pistons, right? You don't want to be the Pistons. The Pistons don't want to be the Pistons. So maybe this avoids that, right? Maybe guys like Barnes and Barrett and Quickley and draft picks coming in allow you to retool and sort of speed up that process a little bit. But that is what we're looking at here. If you take a look at the 2 sides, the Raptors are hoping maybe to compete for a play-in spot with their current roster. Meanwhile, for the Pacers, I might have said that wrong. For the Pacers, they're trying to make a deep playoff run here. They are looking to have maybe not championship or bust kind of aspirations, but trying to push themselves into elite territory, and the Siakam trade may very well do that for them. So, well, that's what I got there. But please feel free to share your thoughts. Do you believe that adding Siakam to the Pacers makes them strong enough? Do you think that they can take on the teams in the East like the Celtics, the Bucks, the 76ers, and come out on top with this new version of the lineup? Meanwhile, for the Raptors, where do you sort of see them going? Do you think maybe that they can rebuild themselves and compete for something like a play-in spot this season? Or do you think if that improvement comes, it's going to be maybe next year or several years down the line? So whatever your thoughts are, please feel free to let me know. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.